What's the best part about being off the fucking wagon?
Best part about off the wagon?
No, not my off.
Off
your wagon.
You always get to say yes.
Yeah.
Nobody likes to hear no.
That's it.
I don't care what you're talking about. No sucks.
I'm Joe Ricchio, and my entire existence revolves around finding things to eat and drink. I document these indulgences because if this lifestyle kills me, I want to leave something behind.
So some people have peanuts for bar snacks, but we're just having some lobster.
Craft brewing in Maine is undergoing a second renaissance of sorts, and at the forefront of the movement are the boys from Oxbow. Though they're relatively new to the game, you'll find their beers at any restaurant in the state that's worth a and as far away as Philadelphia. Today we're visiting their third annual Goods from the Woods Festival, an all-day affair of eating, drinking, and hopefully some fornicating that takes place in what many would consider to be the middle of nowhere. They've got some of the best food vendors in Maine on hand to fuel the excess, and I'm looking forward to getting my paws extra dirty, buddy.
Apparently there's a cask of a one-year-old Oxbow Loretta ale in the woods somewhere. We're gonna go find. I'm on the way there. I'm gonna finish this Tim's 30th. It's definitely a sour, kind of sweet tart style ale. This is absolutely delicious. I wish I had this for breakfast today. I didn't have the foresight to do that. Instead I had Starbucks. Not nearly as satisfying. That was stupid. This is one of those things, you know, where they reward your effort. You know, if you go for a hike, which is supposedly healthy, your efforts get rewarded by finding beer. All those people do those like hashing, where they think it's fun, like to go run a 5K, and like the reward is to like go to a bar after. And when really you're just like, dude, just go to a bar. Unless you count like running from your problems as running. I run a 5K from my problems on a daily basis. You'll see the clean-cut looking cameraman running around. He's like the driver and like the responsible one, and then we're the ones who get drunk. He has the more expensive piece of equipment, but he gets drunker than the other guy. It's a good system. We found the cask in the middle of the woods. We found the 1-year aged Loretta ale. Well, some unicorn art. People keep gathering. We got some aged, some 750s filled with some aged beer. Basically, this day is just going to be a series of me running into different people every 10 minutes and having my glass filled with something different, which eventually ends up as I don't remember anything.
I'm not sure who first decided to pull an oyster out of the water, pop it open, and fire it down the hatch, nor am I sure whether they give you a raging hard-on, as everybody claims. All I'm sure of is that they're the easiest way to taste the ocean without getting dehydrated and dying.
So we're with Oyster Pete from Pemaquid Oysters, and you're in Damascus or Newcastle?
Damascus
River, right? I mean,
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, it's pretty much a household name.
Yeah, we've been around since 1985, so.
What makes Pemaquids different from, you know?
We raise our oysters in the upper portion of the estuary, about a half a mile from town, and then we move the oysters once they're finished growing to a location that's 6 miles south. So that really changes the flavor. They're a little saltier, a little like cooler waters, giving it that crisp flavor.
I'm gonna eat an oyster.
Yeah, man, cheers.
Right now. Do a little lemon on one. Oh, that's awesome.
I might as well join you.
Yeah.
I like oysters.
Yeah. These are awesome. My criteria starts to kind of be like, who serves like the coldest oysters? I want it to be like bracing and refreshing, like going in the ocean.
Yeah, somebody asked me to describe the flavor of the oysters. My response was it's like diving into the ocean face first. It really, you get that salty, cold, refreshing experience.
Which is actually the best way to deal with a hangover, is to jump in the cold water.
It's gotten me by, that's for sure.
Long story short, Tim Adams is one of the coolest guys you'll ever meet. Originally from Maine, he spent most of his formative years in Tokyo, where he landed a bar gig at the tender age of 16. His travels have brought him to Colorado and DC, where he worked in the wholesale beer business before coming back to the homeland and cleaning out a patch of forest to start a brewery in Newcastle and throw ridiculous all-day drinking festivals.
Is this the second Goods from the Woods festival, or the first? That's not the first.
This is the third Goods from the Woods.
Nice. And Oxbow started how long ago?
We started 2.5 years ago. You know, we had it shortly after we just started out. You know, we've been open for a couple months, and we were dying to have a party.
Nobody will visit me in Newcastle unless I tell them it's an event of some kind. Like, guys, want to hang out at my house? Where are you again? No cabs go to Newcastle after, what, 4 o'clock in the afternoon? So I have an event, and that way people bring cars, and they can get friends to bring them home, like our reasonably responsible cameraman, Sean, who's bringing us home.
All right.
And Sean's really excited about that.
All right.
So you started the brewery 3 years ago. You started doing the event immediately. This one looks exponentially larger than the second one.
We're making it a little bigger every year. I mean, you know, we've got more people that know about our beer and are digging it and want to come and visit, and then we're trying to do our best to keep in line with that and keep stepping it up on our end. Like, we've got more food vendors this year, we've got a bigger graffiti wall, more DJs, more porta potties. We're just, you know, the things that come with expanding your party. Geoff, you know, co-owner of the company, is standing out there on the side of the road wearing an orange vest and a flashlight, kind of waving people on. So it's, but that, you know, it's owning your own business. That kind of stuff happens.
Josh Pataki is somewhat of an enigma in Maine's food scene, sporting a look that implies that he may be more likely to cook meth rather than some of the best food you've ever tasted. He's been responsible for some of Maine's premier bakeries, in addition to co-founding a raucous underground dining event called Pocket Brunch.
This is the Philly sleaze steak.
Fried cured brisket, smoked, and canned cheese sauce. Can't really go wrong. And maybe a little tin foil.
Did you actually make the canned cheese sauce, or is that from a can?
No, that's straight from the can.
This is not a color you can achieve at home.
No, this is like the mall, the roller rink. They don't want to say they like it, but they really love it.
How long do you let that brisket roll before you?
It's about 8 hours in the smoker.
Well, that's what's awesome about this cheesesteak, is it's like, you get like the creamy cheese, but like the fat in the steak like adds an extra level of like ridiculous, like greasy, cheesy, tender. Just melts away in your mouth, and you made your own, like, the roll for the cheesesteak is almost like a brioche bun and an onion roll. So, but it's actually got enough structure that it soaks in all that grease without falling apart.
Yeah, I think the brisket's really nice too, because when you chop it all up and you kind of blend the fat in with the meat.
Yeah.
So it becomes this, like, you know, it's, if you cut it just like down the middle, it tastes a little bit dry in the middle, but if you blend that fat in there.
This is just, the whole thing is fat meat.
Fat and meat.
Good. This is supposed to end up all over your face.
Uh-huh, pretty much.
Yeah, I know I've mentioned a million times that I can give a shit about most food trucks, and that's still true. This stems from so many people using the fact that they are a truck as a selling point, rather than the fact that they serve great food. I honestly wouldn't care if Small Axe was a friggin' outhouse. I would still happily eat every item on the menu.
Joel foolishly thought that you could retire from me, but you can't, because I'm going to come find you.
What are these? Whose are these? Those are all for Joe. Oh.
Yes.
Are you eating all these?
I'm going to try, yeah. This is man versus himself. So we have the chili here. This is made with the same smoked beef that you use for the burger, right? What kind of cheese on top?
That is a Shelburne cheddar.
Nice. And what's the little fried thingy?
Is a black pepper hush puppy with some scallions, babe.
Green scallions for health, for life, for heart smart. I put sriracha on my chili for fun.
What?
Because I always do. Yeah. Super deep, smoky, earthy flavor to this chili. Try the black pepper hush puppy. Oh. The texture of that hush puppy is awesome because it's got a little bit of the crispy crackly on the outside. It's really dense and cakey on the inside, and with the spice from the chili and the kind of pungency of the black pepper, that's delicious. So now we have a pork belly sandwich with kimchi. Oh my God. You see that fat dripping? Oh my God. Did you have pork belly over my face? This is incredibly well-cooked pork belly.
In addition to making beer, Oxbow raised 5 pigs this year. After slaughter, they broke these noble beasts down for all the food vendors at the festival to serve in a variety of ways. Most notable of which is the Small Axe's version of classic hammy spam.
Generally, I like Spam and eggs. What I like about this? Well, A, the Spam's awesome. It's not as firm as Spam out of a can, but the spice is there. Like the flavor of the Spam is definitely preserved. The nori actually stays really crunchy and gives a lot of extra texture as well as the scallion. So you have salty, crunchy, spicy, sweet. So what the f else do you want? You guys might want some of this Spam sandwich, but personally I think you can eat me because I'm gonna eat it all. I know it's kind of trending now. A lot of chefs are like, oh, I'm just gonna do the whole food truck thing, but then they're idiots and they suck. Like, you don't suck. Your food's delicious. It comes out efficiently, within 5 minutes, every time.
Well, we didn't have enough money to start a restaurant. So this was the next sensible idea. So we treat it like a restaurant. We cook food like we would cook in a restaurant. We're working more hours now, actually, because it's just Carl and myself doing all the prep and mostly everything else. Cooking on the truck is a lot of fun. There's just a lot of challenges of getting to that point. Every day, making sure you have water, electricity, propane, gas for the truck, gas for the generator, loading the truck up, getting to a spot, getting the place ready, doing service, breaking it all down, driving it back to the kitchen, unloading the truck, putting everything away, cleaning the truck, and then it's time to prep for the next day.
Tell me about the challenges of not getting a DUI in your own restaurant.
This thing can't go too fast.
There's not generally people drinking and f***ing on board.
Exactly.
Probably. Carl's single now though, so you never really know what's gonna happen, I guess.
You could be the first, Joe.
I would love to christen your band.
That would be awesome.
If this food truck's a rockin', please come and knock in and join in and I'll f*** you too.
That's right. It's happened before.
That's the Joe Ricchio promise. Your largest production beer is the Oxbow Farmhouse. Yep. The term farmhouse ale, is that a certain criteria on that, or is that?
There is, yeah. The term farmhouse, when used in the brewing world, applies directly to the type of yeast that was used, and that yeast being Saison yeast.
Okay.
So our flagship is called the Farmhouse Pale Ale, so that's alluding to kind of two styles coming together. Farmhouse Ale, Saison, Pale Ale being an American pale. So we're using American hops in that, and so it's, the malts, the hops, whatever, it's structured like a regular old pale ale, but then we ferment it with the Saison yeast. So it takes the two styles and brings them together. So you got the citrus and fruit of a pale ale, but then the interesting spice complexity and dryness of a Saison. It originated from farmers brewing on their farms. They would brew the beer to feed the workers during the summer season. And the thing about Saison, it's nourishing, it doesn't slow you down. You can throw them back. The traditional ones are very low in alcohol, and we actually do a lot that are very low in alcohol as well. But these farm workers, these Saisonniers, they would have these like clay growlers kinda, these jugs with a little cork in it. And at the end of the row of the field where they're working on, they'd dig down into the earth like a foot down and bury it. Cover it up so it would stay nice and cool, work for an hour or whatever, come back, hit this thing up. And these guys drank gallons.
Are you paying attention, America, as far as like how to maximize workplace efficiency? Bury a beer in the ground, let people drink it.
Saison's the original farmer's Gatorade.
That's amazing. Can I say that I'm incredibly envious of what you're doing.
Well, thanks, man.
I think it's fucking amazing.
I'm a little envious of what you're doing. You seem to have, I've watched the episodes.
Well, you're gonna live longer than me. So enjoy me while I'm here. That's why we collaborate at every chance
we need each other.
We do, we need each other. I need you to feed the dragon. And yeah, you need me to, why do you need me again?
Yeah, let's see. Keep us in business.
Yeah, exactly.
Come out and play. Everything's great and the world is okay. Come out and play. Everything's great and the world is okay.
What's your background in tacos?
I grew up out west in California and then moved to the Valley, and that's really where I kind of got into it. There's a huge agriculture thing going on out there in the Central Valley, and so it was a huge Mexican, Salvadoran, Honduras, people from all over. When we came here to Maine,
You were like, all the burritos are shit here.
basically, yeah, it was kind of like, nobody was really doing it the way we have it in California. Not as concerned with being like authentic Mexican as much as like North California, and even more specific, like Central Valley, California area. You're not gonna get like fancy cuts of steak. That's why we use cabeza, and we use like a chuck roast for this shaved steak. So everything's kind of a poor man's, food basically.
While I eat the cabeza, tell me about the cabeza.
The cabeza is, we have a seasoning that I actually get from some friends that own a butcher shop out west called Carniceria Rosita. It's my buddy Jorge. He was kind of my mentor for this. So I used his actual seasoning, and I have no idea what he puts in it. I just use it. Yeah, it's pretty rad.
See you on Commercial Street, I'll get a whole burrito filled with that.
Absolutely, brother. Hey, nice to meet you, man.
I'm having such a great day that even the multitude of children running amok are unable to spoil my mood in any way. This is as close to a perfect day as I've experienced in quite some time. Everyone here is chill and just happy to be part of a very unique festival.
So, I mean, it's your 3rd year in operation. I mean, what does it mean to have, this kind of turnout where you are? People, this is amazing.
It is, yeah. It feels great. Something about Maine that really means community. We just kind of spread this word of mouth wise. We just tell people, hang some signs, and the word spreads.
Unfortunately, it is now 5 o'clock, and that marks the end of our party. But we gotta start moving out, so thank you guys so much. Hope to see you all soon, and cheers. Thank you.
Like, what the do you think I was thinking when I left Maine?
I don't know. I grew up in New Hampshire, and I always admired Maine, but it took about a month of living here to realize that I will never leave. I love it. And the beauty of Maine is that the more time I spend here, the less I know about it in a way, and the less I understand the people, and it's enigmatic. The people are amazing, and it's great to be a part of it. But there's something special that I can't put my finger on that I've never experienced anywhere else. And you give those people beer, and they get together. It's great.
Oh, we're gonna go back then.
Thanks, guys.
Tim and Geoff have created something amazing for both their immediate community and the entire beer drinking world, pioneering new styles while paying homage to the techniques of those who came 100 years before us. This is what Maine is all about, and there is no better place than the woods to be off the wagon.